Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, everyone. Could I have a motion to open up the town board meeting July 24th, 2025?
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. First item on the agenda is the discussion on IWS review of the DEIS completeness. As of right now, we received comments from the board. The ERB we got today, the town engineer we got a couple of days ago. All the information has been sent over to the applicant, and I think we all agree it's been deemed incomplete, at least my understanding from what was written from the ERB and our position on it. Any discussion from the board?
Well, I guess the only other thing is we only have, there's a time frame here. We got it.
Right, the applicant has 30 days to respond.
Yeah, this is the last meeting before we're going to use it.
Correct.
Move it along.
Correct, we have until July 31st to deem it complete or incomplete, so we must deem it incomplete tonight, get it back to the applicant, and they'll have 30 days to respond to us.
They have unlimited days.
No, 30.
No, they have 30 days to
To
respond
come
to.
back.
No.
That's what Sean said on the outline.
We have 30 days. When they send it back to us, we have 30 days, but they can take a year and a half.
The applicant has 30 days.
They can take forever. When they send it back to us, we are restricted to 30 days.
Ah,
Okay, well, that was not what was explained to me, so if that is the case, I stand corrected.
So anyway, then a motion would be in order to
Deem the DEIS incomplete.
and to move it back to the applicants.
Correct.
For all the reasons that you noted.
Yeah, well, exactly, but based on the comments from the board, the ERB, and the town engineer. A lot of stuff is redundant, I mean,
Yeah.
stuff that we
Yep.
brought up, stuff the ERB brought up, and the town engineer brought up, so it's all in there, it's a pretty hefty response back to them. So could I have that motion? Or
Yep.
any additional discussion, Rick, you have anything?
No.
George?
No, I made the motion.
Okay, second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye. You want to need a roll call then?
no.
Next item on the agenda is to review and approve the proposal from Blakely, Platt, and Schmidt LLP to approve and authorize the supervisor to sign the proposal to hire Lino Scaretta as the new planning board attorney. I met with Lino, Lee, Phil, Kelly, and Sean twice. We had a Zoom call first amongst all of us, and then we had a Zoom call with Lino on Monday, and the board chairman and deputy chairman approved the hiring of him. Kelly was very in favor of him, so much so that he's also the new attorney for the Village of Woodbury. So, any comments from the board?
No, I read over it. Seems like the firm is a pretty large firm and they can do other activities for us if needed.
Absolutely, and we did make it a point that Lino will be the attorney. We won't have multiple attorneys appearing for us. The only attorney that will be representing Goshen is Lino Scaretta, unless there's a conflict. He does work for Orange and Rockland, he does work for some of the utility companies, so there may come a time where there's a waiver may be required, and either we, the town, or his customer may not want to give that waiver, so somebody else from his firm will represent on that condition that night. Sorry. Right, any comments, George?
Oh, I'm good.
All right, so can I have a motion to approve and authorize the supervisor to sign a proposal from Bleakley, Plate, and Schmidt to hire Lino Scaretta as planning board attorney and also to advise on labor laws?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Next item on the agenda is review the off-site improvement contribution agreement with the student bus company and authorize the supervisor to sign. I'm assuming you went through this. I know we did receive the $25,000, Mary.
Yes.
Sean has gone through it, attorney's gone through it. Any issues?
I have
No? Anything from the board?
I don't have any.
Nope.
All right, well,
So we.
The board,
Do we have to accept, resolution to accept it?
Motion to
au-
authorize. the
authorize,
supervisor to
motion to
sign.
authorize supervisor to sign
Sign.
the off-site improvement contribution. There's also in here, there was a letter from John Canning, I don't know if everybody saw
Yes,
it.
yeah.
So he weighed in on it also. All right, so can I have a motion to authorize supervisor to sign the off-site improvement contribution agreement with Student Bus Company?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Could you just explain that to the public?
What's that?
What you just voted on?
It was the off-site improvement contribution agreement from the bus company. So we have an agreement in place that gives the town $25,000 for various things in the agreement that the engineer has put together. The agreement should have been on site, available to anybody.
I don't know if anybody in the public knows about it.
Anybody, I normally wouldn't do this, but anybody have any questions on it?
I'd like to hear it if you don't mind, Joe. Just real quick, you can sprint through it. Permission to approach.
Yes.
Get the rules down.
No, I'm not no judge. Take it back when you sit down, I don't need
Thank
it.
you.
Basically, it's about the intersection of 17A and Industrial Drive.
Correct. Mhm.
Essentially, I think it's referred to as a development agreement.
Yeah.
I'm gonna move on, Marie, but I will come back to you if you have any
Gotcha,
questions.
yeah, no problem.
Okay, next item on the agenda, review and approve the 2025 Public Transportation Agency Safety Plan for Goshen Dial-A-Bus.
I'll make the motion.
Any questions on it? No?
No.
All right, so can I have that motion?
George made the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, next item on the agenda is review and approve the standard workday reporting resolution for elected official Amanda Brady. It's just a normal bookkeeping, Mary, it's just a normal bookkeeping for
Bookkeeping,
retirement.
Yeah.
So we just need to approve it. There's no, nothing we can do or anything, okay? So, any questions, George, or?
Well, apparently she didn't turn anything in, right? So we just have
That's
to.
on her, not us.
Yeah, so we just have to move this along to the state.
Correct,
If they have questions, they'll contact her.
correct.
Correct.
So, need a motion for that?
Got a motion to approve the standard workday reporting resolution.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Review and approve the town board meeting of July 10th, 2025. Any questions on it? George, any questions?
No, I gave the changes there. Well, maybe I will, because both myself and Mary were a little bit stymied. So the attorney's here tonight, he'll be able to address it. So we had also the inclusion of Swindley pool rentals. What I didn't understand was in presumption. Well, actually, we changed it now to.
Where are we?
In
On the
first
page.
Swindley
first
pool.
page, sorry.
In
Yeah, down at the end.
presumption of dwelling. I just didn't see, I guess that must be like a legal term? It's been amended, so I don't know whether you got the amended part.
In presumption of dwelling.
He did, he got the.
Oh, okay.
Oh, what, you're asking what Swimpley is?
No.
No,
I
in
know it has
presumption of
residential-
dwelling.
Yeah, what
Said
in
you're gonna
presumption
put it in the
of dwelling.
presumption of
It
dwelling. I
just
couldn't
didn't
explain.
seem to, I don't understand that language.
Well,
Swimming pool rental.
there's presumptions contained within the law, right? So if you list it on Airbnb or Vrbo, that's a presumption. We added Swimply to that list of presumptions, that if it's found on there and you're renting your pool out, it's a presumption that you are in violation of the short-term rental
Okay, I
code.
got you.
Or at least that it's a short-term rental. So I see, yeah, I see how it reads there, and yeah, but does that make sense to you now?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
I'm good.
Anything else? So we got a little bit of a problem here. I can't vote on this, I was absent.
All right, so you can't adopt the
So
minutes.
we can adopt the minutes.
So we'll just,
You have to roll
I'll
over
carry it over.
to the next meeting.
Discuss and approve a motion to authorize supervisor to pay accounts payable check run for July 10th, 2025 in the amount of $309,679.10.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Discuss the motion authorize the supervisor to pay a manual AP run, 7/31/25 in the amount of $20,866.78.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Discuss and approve budget transfer as requested by the budget officer. To have that motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
There's an informational pack in there, the budget officer did an AP run July 24, 2025. Okay, now we get to that exciting time of the night. Privilege of the floor, open to anybody that would like to speak on anything.
Anything germane to town business.
Anything germane to you, we can't talk about Rory's hair.
Take that packet and put it down, all right? Whatever was on that one, you can't use now.
I don't need privilege of the floor, but I'm gonna return this back to you.
You, any questions, Natmer, before I go to,
It didn't answer any questions, but I'm gonna look on the web. I was just wondering, how do you get to 25,000 without a list of possible problems?
I think the
And
town
if you
engine.
take the 25 now, and the problems happen 5 years from now,
Yeah,
is 25 the right amount, or do you need to put inflation and it should be like 40?
it's,
That was just, that's what
I
I'm
don't,
trying to see,
I
like how you
don't,
got to that number.
it's the town engineer.
The traffic.
I think I might be able to make an attempt to answer that.
Okay, that'd be great.
So, if you look at the,
Thank you.
you look at the, do I need this? Or
Yeah.
You got it?
Two.
Okay. So, we got a memo from John Canning.
Right.
And he's our professional
Yes, I've seen that.
person
Yep.
for transportation types of things and roads.
Yep.
So he wrote us this memo, which I think you just looked at.
No, that
And-
number
Nope.
wasn't in there.
She did not, I'm gonna hand it to her right now.
Oh, okay. So the memo basically states that we are gonna receive $25,000.
You can take that with you so you can read it.
Thank you.
We already got the check, and basically, this is what he is proposing that we do.
Okay.
It's on a state highway, so the state is actually gonna have to do the work. But the first thing is to petition the state DOT to install an intersection ahead warning sign with a 50 miles per hour supplemental speed plaque. Second, we petition, again, this is us petitioning them, they actually will do the work. This is covering basically maybe our engineer and our attorneys.
So
to
we have
do that.
some minor costs in this to petition
Right,
it, okay.
but then the actual, if it actually happens, the types of things that happen, it's gonna be a state project funded by the state.
Okay,
it's on
because I
a
was
state-
worried about it,
it's
we
on
only
a
take
state highway.
25 now, and we don't do it
Right.
for 5 to 7
We don't
years.
do the work though.
Yeah, 25 might not even matter. Okay, so this is just to get to the DOT to get them to pay for
Right.
it. Got it, okay, that, see if that was in the first part, I would have understood it.
I'm sorry.
No, it's not your fault, I just didn't understand. Thank you,
You're welcome.
done.
Would anybody like to speak on anything relative, what was the, relevant to the town
Relevant.
board?
Germaine.
Germain.
Germaine.
Germain, is that a Jackson?
Yes, it was. It is, maybe.
Get him.
Yeah, just, I'm sorry. IWS, I just want to point out, I think you all caught it too, but when the IWS has, that they're only going to work on the one property, which is the property that they own, if you read their report, they also indicate that they're using 4 other properties. They're using one behind the property that they claim they are leasing from Altori, which has never been approved for any use for over there. They're indicating they're using the property across the street that they own, that they're using for their project. And they also indicate that they're using the property that Altori owns to the south for their stormwater. In fact, what they're saying is that the stormwater coming off the asphalt goes into that stormwater site. And then if it fills up too much, they have a 30-inch pipe that goes underneath their entire project and goes over and dumps into Amy's property. And then it goes in a ditch along Amy's property. What they have said is that they don't think the water is ever gonna reach that far because it's sand and gravel, and therefore they think it's gonna go into the groundwater before it ever gets there. The concern about that is that we're talking about the, essentially what they've described as leachate that's on the asphalt. It's gonna be washed off into this stormwater. Then the leachate's gonna go onto the neighbor's property and then onto Amy's property. And if it ever goes far enough, it's either gonna go all the way to the Wallkill River, or it's going to go into Amy's Kitchen's stormwater proposals, or whatever. It's kind of a weird thing, and my concern is that there is a fracture trace, which they have not identified in their thing. There's a fracture trace that goes from there down to where the village well is located along the Wallkill River, which means that there's enough leachate going in there. Ultimately, we drink it here in the village. I think that that's a real concern, and we just want to make sure we caught that going forward.
So is that something that's part of the DEIS, or is that something that the planning board already looked at?
No, it's part of the DEIS. The planning board, for whatever reason, chose not to look at anything off that site. They said the other stuff is an enforcement issue, and they're not gonna look at it. I'm not
So
sure.
I do know, for the purposes of what you said, I do know that they have I'm not sure the time frame. It's either 10 or 20-year lease with the Milo family for that additional property.
Right, I think they do. I've never seen that lease, but I'm not disagreeing that it's there. The problem is that the planning board or the town board has never approved for them to use that property for a solid waste facility. So they now have this, they identified as about 2,000 square feet of the neighboring property that they're now using for their stormwater, or for their solid waste facility, which nobody has ever approved in the town. I'm not sure the DEC even knows it, really, as to whether or not they're permitting it. And then, I know we never looked at the fact that their stormwater they're directing their stormwater off-site to the Altori property that they have no lease on, and then ultimately that probably goes to the Amy's Kitchen property.
I didn't read the entire DEIS.
And I know I didn't get there either.
Anywhere, do you know off the top of your head, anywhere in there, does it define how much leachate they anticipate seeing on a daily basis?
No, they don't. They don't discuss that number. They're saying kind of it's gonna be less, but they don't know for sure. They've given no numbers at all. And so they are gonna collect some of the leachate, but not all the leachate from the asphalt. The asphalt's, at one point in time to the DEC, they complained that it's not really their property that's polluting anything. It's the material coming off the truck, off the tires on the trucks. And I note that this property does not generate its own waste. It's the waste coming in and the waste being dumped in and out. So there's no doubt about it. I mean, you go there and Rick, you've probably been there, not that you enjoy going there, but you've probably seen when they dump these things, leachate comes out of the back of the truck, and it has water there, and then the trucks drive through it, and it leaves the site, or in this case, sometimes it stays on the site on the asphalt. In the building, they talk about cleaning it down or washing that down, but outside the building and on the asphalt, they don't talk about that at all. What they're really doing is waiting for the next storm, letting that wash off. And what they say is it's gonna run sheet flow onto all these other properties, or it's gonna go into a pipe, a 25-inch pipe that goes up to the Altori land on the south side. And then if it fills up there, they say there's a 30-inch pipe that goes over to Amy's Kitchen's property. I have not seen those, and they don't identify where that 30-inch pipe is at all. I have been out to the Amy's Kitchen property where I saw leachate coming out of a pipe from their property, and right there was a dead snake. I don't know if this had anything to do with their leachate, but I know there's like a 3 or 4 foot dead snake right there at the end of their pipe at that point. So I think there is a concern. We have to look at that, and ultimately I think otherwise we're responsible for stormwater discharges within the town, so I think that we're gonna be liable otherwise.
You sit on the planning board. I'm a little confused as to why the planning board didn't address any of this in the environmental, the secret.
I think that I was not allowed to speak at the planning board because it was determined by the town attorney that because I was the building inspector and knew too much, I couldn't talk for this project because it came in when I was there.
And it was never brought up.
And it was never, it was not brought up by me for sure, and I don't think it was brought up much at all at the planning board. I think it should have been. I really think we were negligent that way, but it was not brought up at the planning board.
I think some of that was in your ERB.
Right, I think we got a lot of it in there. But I just.
So I'm not
wanted to
gonna
point
bother
that-
Sean on his vacation out in the ocean, but we'll have plenty of time to address it when he gets back.
Yeah, and I think that this is about completeness, and I think even if it doesn't address it in completeness, we end up getting it as to accuracy and everything else.
I mean, if it's gonna make you feel good, I can get you a copy of the lease.
No, I think ultimately that should be provided anyhow,
Mhm.
but no, that's not gonna make me feel good. What's gonna make me feel good is if in fact we can find out whether we ever approve that, and if it needs to be approved, then it should be approved. Just saying that.
So my question would be relative to what you said. I don't know if we ever approved it, and I don't know if the DEC knows that the solid waste, it's part of their solid waste plan, but is it really part of their solid waste plan? Or is it just additional property they need for setbacks and things like that?
No,
Are they actually utilizing that property for actual solid waste? Like-
Sure, they actually are, and in fact, if you look at the pictures there, they actually say they're using it for the storage of loaded trailers. So there are parking trailers back there, and they are loaded. In fact, there's pictures from the DEC where it shows that those trailers are loaded there and they're not covered. And their definition of leachate is that it's the result of water hitting the garbage.
Rainwater hitting, anything that hits garbage, clean
Right.
rainwater hits garbage, it's considered leachate.
Absolutely, and they're saying it, and they are correct, that some of the leachate is developed prior to them even picking it up. And then it gets to the site, and then it's there, and if it hits water, if water hits it there, and then it happens. So, yeah, there is leachate, and a lot of stuff inside the building they're gonna collect. Everything outside of the building, they're not gonna collect, except it's gonna go off-site sooner or later.
Like I said, when Sean gets back, this is a discussion that we could have on, based on, when they come back with
Yeah.
their next reiteration of the DEIS, we'll make sure that it's.
And I know that they've also claimed that they have no violations, and yet, last night we had it, and it's not relevant to completeness, but it is relevant that they have a violation from the EPA, and they have a violation this year from the DEC, the first quarter of this year. So it's not that it's such a great site, and it has no violations, there are violations there.
Well, they would argue that that's why they're spending $2 million stuff.
And I can't tell you exactly why, and then, you know,
And whether it's a good argument or not, I mean, they
Right.
are spending a couple of $1 million to upfit the building.
I hope so. And the other real concern too, is that there's a requirement in there that they do soil borings. And the purpose of the soil borings is to determine whether or not the soil underneath where they're gonna be picking it up or digging out is gonna be contaminated. That's a real significant issue because, when you dig soil on a site, if it is not contaminated, you can reuse it there, or you can just ship it anywhere. If it is somewhat contaminated, then you can use it on that site, but you can't remove it from the site. And if it's really contaminated, you have to remove it. So they're talking about 800 tons of soil that they're gonna dig out for the construction. They are saying they're gonna use, except they haven't shown any of the balance between fill and removal. But they're saying they're gonna reuse 600 tons of it, and they're gonna have to get rid of 200 tons of it. We really need to know how contaminated that is gonna be. They can do the soil borings right now and do the testing and determine, hey, we're gonna have to remove all of this, or we can reuse all of it. Or maybe they can just get rid of all of it, and then it really doesn't matter. But we don't know that, and we're not gonna know that until they do the soil boring and do the testing on it.
And has that been requested?
Yes,
It's a requirement.
Yeah, the town engineer did request.
Okay.
that.
Yeah, it's a requirement, and they're trying to kick it off. They did not submit it. They're trying to kick it off until after we give the approval on the DEIS and say, all right, we'll do it before we start construction. It really needs to be determined now because that's gonna have a huge impact. It's kinda like when the village started doing their sewer treatment plant and they moved the soil off of that site to another site and ended up being toxic. They had to move it from that site down to a site in New Jersey. We don't want that to happen. In a case within the village, we had a construction within the village at one point in time where they had that issue. They were taken into another site in the town. We caught them, we called the DEC up. They had to remove that material, but they were allowed to continue using it in the site within the village because it was contaminated, but it wasn't so contaminated, they couldn't keep it there. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. June?
I just wanted to ask about that battery thing that's in process on Hartley Road. My concern is that there's an aquifer right under there. And if anything happened to it and they had to use whatever they had to use to spray to contain it, and they were just talking about leachate, would that affect the aquifer? Maybe it's not the
If
best.
it spills into the aquifer, but my understanding it isn't on and off, the aquifer may be under the ground, but not visible by anything
No, but I
penetrating the
mean,
ground.
can I, like at that, whatever they pour on a battery,
It's just foam.
Yeah, the units are all self-contained also, so
Okay.
it's all contained within.
so they open it up, pour the foam in there and then shut it
Well,
off?
no,
There's a fire retardant system inside the
Inside.
unit.
They don't
So the
have to
box
open it.
closes, everything is inside the box. So basically, the foam extinguishes it by taking all the oxygen out.
Yeah.
Okay,
It doesn't
so-
get out of the box.
So how come the thing in Warwick is so bad then?
Because it's a different type of, it's like phase one or type one technology where everything is tied together. This is different. Look at this as being 6 or 8 tractor trailer units sitting on the ground, and the batteries are inside those units, and all the suppression is inside those units, and the doors are closed. So if there's a fire inside, the suppression goes off, the oxygen comes out, it puts the fire out. Those are all open, right on top of each other.
Oh, I see.
Totally
Okay.
different technology.
All right, thank you.
The technology you see today is because of fires like you see that were in Warwick.
Okay, thank you.
I think I have to talk again, I'm really sorry. You know I hate
Okay,
it.
Marie, you're starting to become a problem.
I know, you know what, and I hate this, I'm away from my Starbucks. All right, so Neil, when he gets up to talk, half the time, I don't know what he's talking about, but I know he knows
Well, I
his stuff.
join you in that.
Right? So, he just got up and he said like he was shushed at a planning board meeting over safety code. Can that happen? Is they allowed to do that?
I'm sorry, what?
He said that he was at a planning board meeting, he tried to
No,
reach
no, I
out.
did not try.
Oh,
No, it was determined,
There were certain projects that had started while Neil was the engineer that he had to abstain from. That was a project that started. Anything that started after he was no longer the building inspector, he weighs in on. Anything while he was the building inspector, it's the opinion of the attorney that that is a potential conflict and the applicant could take issue with it.
so what about the current building inspector? I don't know his name, I see him, he seems like a
Frank.
nice man, Frank. Could they talk, could Frank, like, I'm just worried that you're not getting his good knowledge. And now you're here at a meeting where if you had another guy, maybe you might have voted on that. And we don't know, you know, I'm
Good
just
point.
wondering.
Good point.
Okay. Because I don't think he should be stifled. I mean, I know you have your
Well,
rules, but,
He's not intentionally stifled. He's
right,
not
okay, I
intentionally
get it. So
stifled.
he was on, it's a conflict, that kind of thing.
Right, exactly.
But I think,
He's
still think
conflicted out.
his knowledge has to be brought to the planning board so that they could do a better job for you now.
Well, I think that Neil had the ability, I don't know if they, well, no, they don't do public forum, right? So, otherwise he could have spoken as a resident.
Yeah, I mean, we're just lucky there's three of you and you can't vote, or else you guys would have voted on that tonight and maybe not had all that information.
No, we voted on it, we voted
did?
it incomplete.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, so
Alright, the
all,
minute- the minutes were-
everything you heard from Neil tonight, if it was in the ERB,
yeah,
which I think a lot of it was, Neil?
I think almost all of it, yes.
Right, so that is all taken and now been given to the applicant.
okay. That
So the
makes me
concerns are addressed.
feel- Okay, thank you. Because he talks a lot, he talks about stuff I don't understand, but he's very knowledgeable from what I can gather, so it just bothered me when he said he couldn't tell somebody, you know what I mean?
Dinner tonight?
How much did we pay? That's worth $200, Marie.
It's a good thing about being old, you can't be bored, you know.
I hear you. Anyone else? No.
Oh,
God bless you.
I just lost $10.
Oh, I thought I knew it. I knew there was a rolling bet.
And it was-
Motion to adjourn.
Now, seriously, anybody else like to speak?
Joe,
What? No, just because Chris doesn't want to speak, maybe somebody else wants to speak. No?
So
Motion
moved.
to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor?